What is up, guys? JT Anime Nerd here, bringing you all that nerdy goodness. Today, we sort of continue my version of the DC Extended Universe / Snyderverse with David Ayer's Suicide Squad. The only problem I'm facing, however, is that the movie has yet to be released. So until the movie is released, I don't plan on doing that video until then, because I feel that I need to know the director's original vision before I decide if it's all fine, or if I need to change something. So instead of doing a summary of David Ayer's Suicide Squad, I'm going to be talking about the movie instead. The issues it's been facing with WB, what we know so far about it, and where it can inevitably go within my version of the story. With all that explained, let's get into it. Starting off, apparently the movie would have begun with an extended version of June Moon discovering and becoming Enchantress. The relationship between her and Rick Flag would have also been put forward, making the emotional death of the Enchantress all the more tragic, which would have made more sense as June Moon, who never returns in any of the other movies, kind of giving an excuse to kill Rick Flag off in the Suicide Squad, which I did not like. One of the biggest issues that DC movies have always had a problem with is continuity, and despite June Moon no longer being Enchantress, I feel she could have contributed in some way in a future or storyline. But since WB even back then didn't want to bring back any of Zack Snyder's characters, they became stubborn and pretty much just pretty much gave her back a normal life, acting like she didn't matter anymore. Which to me is a big letdown, because even her archaeology skills could have been helpful in future movies, such as Justice League 2, as she could have been helpful in finding the anti-life equation in some way. There also would have been more emphasis on the toxic relationship between the Joker and Harley, leading to Deadshot and Harley to end up falling for each other. Pages from the script of Ayer's Suicide Squad were also leaked, revealing that the infamous stripper scene with Common was still in the movie, but it was supposed to be something to add to the abuse Joker puts Harley through. Also, I've been hearing that the movie was supposed to end with Joker supposedly shooting Harley at the end, not killing her, but getting revenge for her moving on from him. I'm just going on with what I heard. But if there's one thing the studio interference did mess with, it was what Jared Leto's Joker was supposed to be. I actually even heard recently that the director kind of regrets giving Joker the tattoo on his head, which, yeah, not a big fan of the Joker having tattoos, but I still think Jared Leto's Joker still could have knocked it out the ballpark if not for the studio interference. What's the proof? The scene at the very end of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Jared Leto was exactly the Joker we all wanted him to be in Suicide Squad, and so that gives me hope as to his portrayal in this movie, especially from everything we've been hearing about him. So WB and WB's just really been slipping up with everyone and trying to interfere in all their movies and ruin their characters and story. The Joker being, I think, the most major part ruined in David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Another major difference would have been the survival of El Diablo, as seen in a photo David Ayer shared on social media, as well as more mind-controlled Suicide Squad members as shown in the leaked script of Suicide Squad, such as Kitana and Killer Croc. Kitana would apparently would have been the one to defeat Incubus and seal his soul within her sword. This is another major issue for Suicide Squad, as none of the other characters kind of got essential roles. Killer Croc, Kitana, Anna, heck, I think it even looks like Slipknot's in this very shot. I'm not even completely sure, or if that is Slipknot or not, but no pun intended. So a lot of the side characters kind of didn't get full story arcs. I mean, El Diablo kind of got a story arc in his own way, but they didn't fully explain what that power was when he seemed to transform into that skeleton-looking monster, and I felt like we would have gotten more explanation into that. But all in all, the side characters were basically sidelined and just used as fodder for certain parts. Even though they tried to find a use for Killer Croc in the original version, all he did was swim him down a certain area to help them through. So yeah, the side characters needed more justice. David Ayer's version of Suicide Squad was also going to have the Enchantress strike a deal with the Joker in exchange for giving him Gotham to rule over. This would have happened after the helicopter scene when he crashed, giving reason as to why there are images of Joker with a burned face. The Joker would apparently come out in the final battle, but take this chance to escape from the mayhem. See, that is the kind of Joker we wanted to see. Not just a Joker who's love-struck, but a Joker who is dark, manipulative, and will even side with world-ending evil to get at what he desires, which kind of makes you wonder why exactly he didn't want to join Darkseid, but Darkseid probably doesn't value him, so probably wouldn't give him anything anyway. When it comes to Joker in the final battle, it could have been better. I actually did enjoy the final battle in the redone Suicide Squad. It wasn't that bad, but considering we could have gotten a better version, I am very much looking forward to the release of David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention this earlier. Slipknot apparently has his backstory showed in Ayer's film. It's already shot, but I think we all know actually, you know what? Scratch that. Originally, I was gonna say, hey, we all know he was just turned out to be kill fodder, but the shot that shows El Diablo still alive, yeah, it looks like Slipknot might also be there too. So was he meant to make it all the way? And if so, then how would they Waller and her team and Rick Flag show that the bombs in their necks are real? Like, I feel like what Captain Boomerang did, tricking Slipknot into basically he killing himself. Pretty much would have been in something that have happened. So if they decide to keep Slipknot alive, how will Amanda Waller show that they mean business? I really do hope if Slipknot's alive, they explain that, because as I gotta tell you again, that scene just feels like it would actually happen in either version with Slipknot's death. I mean. Now, for what I'd consider to be the biggest part of this movie is that there was also supposed to be a connection to Zack Snyder's Justice League, with the Enchantress actually being mind-controlled by a mother box and was preparing to bring Steppenwolf for his invasion via boom tube. One of the only ways I can honestly imagine that happening is if she stole the mother box before Silas Stone took it, and she used it to pretty much help her plan, and then she would unexpectedly get mind controlled, and that of course would lead to Steppenwolf preparing for his invasion earlier than Zack Snyder's Justice League via boom tube. But I'm pretty sure, since this was supposed to link into Zack Snyder's Justice League, that of course was meant to fail, and Steppenwolf wouldn't have a chance to come back until what happens in Themyscira in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Though we have yet to see the film, I do honestly prefer the botched Suicide Squad over James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. The first Suicide Squad at least tried to have a more serious tone mixed with Guardians of the Galaxy type comedy. Big mistake on their part. The Suicide Squad is a full comedy altogether, which makes it enjoyable in my eyes. But as I've stated before about DC movies, they need to be epic, not just enjoyable. And I found the original Suicide Squad, even though it wasn't David Ayer's original version, more epic than enjoyable. Needless to say, David Ayer's original vision would have been incredible, but thanks to the bad management at WB, it sadly did not see the light of day. But I for one have hope for the Ayer cut. In fact, the only upside about James Gunn taking the reins of DC films is that it seems he supports David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad, and plans on releasing it eventually. How long will that be? Only time will tell. Now, as I stated at the near beginning of this video, I would usually make a revision or rewrite of this film as is to go with my version of the Snyderverse, but since David Ayer's cut of Suicide Squad exists, I feel like I couldn't do the movie justice better than David Ayer has. So I'm going to wait until the Ayer cut of the movie is released. Until then, consider what I went over in this film as canon to my Snyderverse universe, as to what pertaining to everything that we know happens in David Ayer's Suicide Squad. WB through WBD's executives have been making one bad decision after another. While I enjoy James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and I'm also a really big fan of Peacemaker, I feel that James Gunn was not the right decision as the head of DC Films, and just should have stuck to the more obscure parts of DC movies and TV shows. So far, I haven't seen any reason to be excited for Superman Legacy, which I honestly have no hope for, but I admit that I could be surprised. I, for one, am not losing hope that the Snyderverse can return, and I especially am not losing hope that David Ayer's Suicide Squad will be released. So I encourage everyone who is a DC fan, DC movie fan, and a Zack Snyder fan to keep up the good fight, non-threateningly and non-violently, of course. I do not support that kind of backlash, that kind of extremity. There is a difference between fans and fanatics, of course, and all the death threats that I know many people have made to James Gunn and WB executives are things I do not condone. It's actually the core reason why WB and WBD use toxicity as an excuse against us. So it's up to us who are fighting for the Snyderverse to do so through good example, not a bad one. We gotta continue the fight to see not just the Ayer cut, but also the Green Lantern scene in the Snyder cut and the Batfleck movie. We as a fan base were able to get the Snyder cut of Justice League released when WB claimed it did not exist. So don't lose hope. Zack Snyder could have revealed everything in his story, but he still continues not to reveal everything like he did in his storyboards in hopes that the Snyderverse can be restored. It only takes one spark to spread the flame, and our flame is our love for the Snyderverse. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and put down in the comment section below on what you guys liked or didn't like about this discussion. Also, don't forget to check out my merch store linked in the description and pinned comment and below. With all that said and done, I'm JT Anime. I'll check you guys later, and hashtag release the Ayer cut and hashtag restore the Snyderverse.